One quick note about this episode. We're trying to make do with whatever the internet and our smartphones allow us. We don't have a full studio at our disposal right now. So pardon us for the quality of the sound. We hope it doesn't hurt your ears too much, but we tried to fix the levels and the sound engineering as best as we could. Mula po sa Quezon City, ako si Robbie Alampay, PumaPodcast. During the time of the great community quarantine of 2020, the Psychological Association of the Philippines has just come out with their recommendations for taking care not just of our bodies but also of our mental health. Kami rin po sa PumaPodcast nag-aalala, but we take to heart one of the first things that the PAP recommends, which is to worry about the things you can control. But we took this opportunity because this much we can also control. We can learn about our mental health. We can anticipate the psychosocial issues that is confronting not just our people and our society, but ourselves as individuals and as families and as households, as neighbors. So in this special episode of Puma Podcast, we talk about mental health. Our mental health in the time of COVID.
I am Karing Taroja, a practicing clinical psychologist and at the same time a professor at De La Salle University.
I'm Dr. Constantine Delia. I'm a practicing psychiatrist. I also teach at the De La Salle University. So you can call me Tante.
I'm Lala Balahadia Alcala. I'm a practicing clinical psychologist. So I have a private practice in Fairview and a hospital practice in Quezon City. And I also teach part-time at the De La Salle University, but right now I'm on leave.
Ano bang nakikita nyo if you were to look at the Philippines as a patient, how would you assess our well-being in our state right now?
We're all really reeling, I think, from the shock of the events kasi ang bilis ng mga pangyayari. So if I were in my clinic, it would be like a client in crisis. But the thing that they're in crisis for is really a real and present danger. No? What we're seeing is a range of normal emotions, frustration, anger, fear. And then there's some that are like looking at it humorously.
The range of reactions really vary. Dito lumalabas yung on one hand, may panic, may anxiety. On the other hand, there is a lot of positive coping na nangyayari na nababalance, and I think people are trying to support one another, and their own way of coping is vary. Iba humor, iba meditation, but I think what is common is really the anxiety expressed in different levels, different degrees.
How I'm behaving is normal, but is it also normal to wonder why is everybody not reacting the same way I am? Like, bakit itong tao to nagpapatawa? Yung nagpapatawa naman, sinasabi, ba't siya galit?
So yun yung message. Iba-iba tayo at iba-iba rin yung ating klase ng pag-cope natin. So may iba dyan, idadaan nila sa tawa. Yung iba, idadaan nila sa pag-research. Ng pag-research. Yung iba naman, pwedeng through maladaptive coping strategies like, for example, pag-inom, sigarilyo, o yung mga ibang hindi nakakatulong na mga coping strategies. And of course, meron doon yung mga nabanggit nga ni Karing kanina like yoga, exercise, on adaptive.
Does fear bind us? Is fear common to all of us?
It is. And in fact, going back to what Dr. Tante was saying about some people, when they feel anxious, they research, kami yun. So we looked at some literature about the the coronavirus and quarantine and issues like that. And we actually saw that common yung reactions ng frustration, confusion, which are all kind of under fear, no? And fear is really a normal emotion. It's an emotion that we all have, and it's not necessarily maladaptive at this point in time, no? Because fear is the one that helped, mobilize people to stay in their houses, try to keep other people safe. Fear is also the thing that helped leaders make decisive stand. But yeah, there's also other transcendent emotions that bind us, no, after we kind of go over the hurdle of fear.
And at this point, you're saying one
Yes.
basic thing is to accept it, and not just accept it, but really embrace the fact na, huy, lahat tayo takot.
Even the best copers and problem solvers in the society, you could see it in their faces, like when they're talking on the news. You could see the actual worry, and I mean, these are all like stuff under the term fear. No? These are all subtle nuances of emotions that actually fall under the umbrella heading of fear, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It binds us, and it actually mobilizes us into action and helps us do proactive things.
Are there other emotions other than fear that really serves as the baseline for all of us and all of our reactions right now?
Very basic, fight or flight.
Fight or flight, I think people have a grasp of it. But could you give us an example? So in this particular context, how would you illustrate that?
Oh, that's a really good question too. Ang unang pumasok sa akin is the people rushing to the stores. I don't know if that's a fight or if that's a flight response. I'm thinking it's a little bit of both. So I'm not
Both.
answering your question, Robbie. I don't know. Ano nga ba? I don't know. I'm just thinking of the panic buying behavior, if that's a fight or a flight.
I think it's more of a fight behavior kasi you're doing something actively. In my mind, yung flight is when people just try to isolate themselves, not do anything actively. Like for example, may mga iba dyan, alam na nga nila na, they're probably infected or they've been exposed, pero still they engage in behavior that puts other people at risk.
Given all of that, and the baseline is we're all afraid, baseline also is we're all different. As clinicians and as academics, what problems are you anticipating and that we should brace for, but specifically on the level of the individual, the level of family, the level of households, and maybe as big as the level of a barangay?
There's probably one main thing. We don't know what's going to happen.
Yung nabanggit nga kanina, yung constant researching in the hope that, by filling themselves up with supposedly scientific information or whatever knowledge they can get so that they'll be in control of yung situation. I think that's also an example of a fight mechanism. Ang problema lang nga natin doon is pwede siyang sumobra sa kaka-research nila. Tulad nung sinabi ni Karing, they can go to the extreme naman, which is paranoia.
And tataas pa yung level ng cases, and it will become closer to heart. Hindi na lang siya news, but it will actually be
It will start hitting closer to home.
And because of that, the fear and the anxiety, people should anticipate that it's going to really escalate. Matetest ngayon yung strength ng family. So you were talking about ano ba yung implications ng situation natin sa family, community, and then society. So ngayon, I think this is an opportune time for us to review, evaluate that, and strengthen our bonds with each other.
COVID will go from a concept to a news item to something that's really going to inevitably strike somebody that you know, if not yourself. Is anticipation of that and acceptance of that reality and managing your expectations that way. Is that the healthy direction for now or a healthy direction for now?
Yeah, yes. I'm saying yes. And I'm saying that again as an individual, as a group, as a community. The sooner we wrap our brains around the fact that this is going to be the new normal or new normal for a while, or it's probably going to happen again. I mean, the fact that it's happened now, it could happen again, no, in some future time. Accepting that this can happen and wrapping our brains around that fact will also help us kind of, ironically, it will also open up our eyes to new ways of doing things. For example, there really are daily wage earners. No? So the longer that they stay at home, the more anxious they will become. And it's a realistic problem, no? That they're not going to be earning. So people, the bosses or the powers that be that have the decision-making capacity to actually provide, they need to start being creative, no? Because they've accepted na ito na yon. It's gonna get worse, so we need to plan for something that would provide for these people and make them feel safer and secure in the long run.
Ang challenge nga na naiisip ko is parang how do we start normalizing our lives now given this condition? I think initially first few days people are reacting, ano ba gagawin ko, etc., reflecting. But habang tumatagal, parang we need to find that sense of normalcy. Maybe for the family, parang coming up with routines that we can do together. Yung ganon. Ako yun yung challenge ngayon eh. And work from home. Many people are not actually used to that. Siguro yun din, sa umaga, paano ba to? Parang in that sense, parang medyo nababawasan siguro yung helplessness.
Yeah, but I just want to ask, is there such a thing as too soon? Because that message, I imagine, is going to really hit a lot of people hard. It's odd at the same time. Some people will say yes, of course. But is there such a thing as teka muna, you're asking too much of everyone kaagad, or is coming or is just facing this as early as possible? As you said, do we literally take it that way, that the sooner the better?
Yeah. Okay, here's my honest opinion about that. No, it really depends on who you are. No, like like you're a daily worker, or it's probably going to be kind of difficult to immediately accept it, no? Or but let's say you're a decision maker, you're a leader. The sooner you really make your peace with that, the better for all, no? But let's say you're one of us, no? Like the lucky ones who can choose to stay at home and really kind of say, wait, I'm taking a diet from media. I don't want to hear all this news. I just want to breathe and relax, and I can't think about tomorrow yet. No, if you're in that position, then I'm sorry, I didn't wish to scare you, but as soon as you're ready, it's good to kind of manage your expectations. But if you're somebody who is in a position of making decisions for other people, or you know that there is some implication to being accepting immediately, then you might need to follow my advice.
Ako, ang gusto ko lang ding i-add on, parang yes, it will get worse, but there are also information that tells us the more positive side of the statistics in terms of mortality rate, yung how fatal it is. Realistic expectations include also the other side of the story. Based on statistics, people do recover with, of course, all of this following the guidelines.
So the worst is parang tanggapin nyo, it will get worse. But at the same time, let's remind each other, according to China, according to what we're seeing, the worst is not going to be the apocalypse.
There's always the bright side to to everything, but we need to really be prepared na things will go bad for a little while, hopefully. Pero there are good things that are going to come out of this experience. Tulad nga nung nabanggit ko kanina about families reconnecting and being more bonded and stronger.
That presumes that you handle your family well. Diba? That presumes that you handle the psychosocial challenges in the household well, because that's the whole point, diba? You have to anticipate there will be strains. This is not just an opportunity for us to come together. This is also potentially something that can really cause a lot of friction among family members, diba?
Yeah, kaya nga ito yung value nung ginagawa natin ngayon so that families can be helped also in terms of their psychosocial issues, just like what we do with our clients or our patients who have difficulties coping with their problems. You were talking about what to anticipate in the future. So ito yung isang pwede nating anticipate, and I think this is also one area where we could be instrumental in helping families and communities.
This environment, however you look at it, will present both challenges as well as opportunities for us as families, as individuals, and as a community, as a society. But that presupposes that we understand the psychosocial dynamics and forces at play. Whether it's going to drive a wedge between us or it's actually going to strengthen us, it really comes with a recognition that we have to deal with these forces outside of the public health reality of COVID.
Parang we're really all like in this large boat in a sea that's kind of, humahampas yung waves, and we really don't know where we're headed. No? So, and really the thing to do at this point is to, trust each other. I mean, that's really going to be hard because it's really, there's also an every man for himself kind of philosophy here, but support each other as much as we can, no? And be kind. Even if your decision in all of these initiatives is just to stay home and really pray, that's still a big thing, no? We're all really doing our part, and we just really need to be realistic that things could get worse, but we also always have hope. And I think the Filipino has that kind of resilience. So that's how I really want to end this.
We're all afraid, but I think we need to try to be able to manage that fear, because para sa akin parang mas nakakatakot pa yung fear within us kaysa yung the virus itself. Simple things like relaxation exercises or anything that can allay that sense of fear is going to be helpful so that it doesn't erode our sense of being in control and our sense of power over this particular threatening situation.
Ultimately, the individual will be the best judge ng kanyang sense of well-being. So siguro the message that I would like to send people is to really take care of oneself, take care of your well-being, and in that sense, you will be able to take care of other people better. You will be more logical in terms of making decisions. So, yun, alongside with that is really that sense of balance. Parang I would like to take care of myself, but at the same time, there are also like bigger societal needs. Kailangan ko magtrabaho, pero kailangan kong to stay at home. That's really the challenge for all of us, to find that balance, taking care of myself so that I can respond to this better. At the same time, look at bigger needs of whether the community or the society in general.
At yan po ang PumaPodcast. Once again, mula po sa Quezon City. We are quarantined just like all of you. Please stay safe. Please keep well.